How can a university that's outward looking and international remain relevant whenever globalization seems to be under threat from so many different factions in society?
I don't think the political pressure on globalization is going to take away global problems. Global problems are going to remain, and we will have to solve global problems. The problems of migration are still going to be very relevant to us in South Africa, and we'll have to solve them, and we can't solve them alone.
It's not an argument that universities will lose. I think everybody realizes just what a huge benefit it is in terms of both those countries that are receiving students and those that are sending students in terms of human capital formation, transfer of ideas.
I agree with the globalization perspective. It has many implications. First of all, the student population is global. It's much more mobile. You know, a student from one country can go study in another one, they can get a job in a third country, and they can go back to where they come from. So I think university these days have to be mindful of the career of the life of the student.
Because globalization is under attack, universities have the opportunity to help demonstrate some of the positive values of that.
Universities need to instill in the general public a sense of optimism. I see a lot of pessimism, a lot of doomsayer, a lot of negative comments about jobs disappearing. Of course, jobs will disappear, but new jobs will be created, and universities are partly responsible exactly for that.
How would you say that a globalized university can turn around and show their local community that what they're doing overseas or outside of their borders is actually helping them?
Well, you've got to, again, sit down and interact with your communities and have a discussion with them. So, you know, we're one of the most internationalized campuses in the world. Canberra's a pretty small 400,000 person city, and our international students permeate all sorts of parts of our community.
At Glasgow, we have a very strong role to play in areas like chronic diseases and public health. Well, Glasgow has these challenges in the same way as sub-Saharan Africa will have similar challenges around chronic diseases, whether that's cardiovascular disease or cancer. So we can often make sure that people understand that the work we do globally has a real resonance and can be applied for the benefits of our local community.
Most of the universities around the world are supported by the local economy and the government. So they have to make sure that relationship is done well, because there's a danger of getting too much attention, too much support from the government, right? Because then there's a trade-off between autonomy and accountability.
At MIT, only 62% of our research money comes from the U.S. federal government. So we're highly supported internationally and also by industry. And industry tends to be very international. So very little is kind of just U.S. anymore.
The fourth industrial revolution is a product of university research.
We need to integrate education with society. Education must more and more respond to the needs of society. In my own understanding, the fourth industrial revolution is really about the convergence of human beings and people and society. You know? And therefore, if we make sure that our graduates understand technology, they understand people, and they understand society, then they will have a stake in the fourth industrial revolution.
You know, the old models is where university takes a young person from high school, you know, instill some knowledge in them, technical knowledge, and they go out and get a job and contribute to society. That probably still will work to some extent, but university need to think more out of this box.
There is so much populism, there is so much fake news floating around in this planet Earth. We need people who really have a clear mind and a clear objective vision of what's going on in this world and are able to critically reflect what they take in and to produce then, based on this critical reflection, creative new solutions.